Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Damas y caballeros, Troys y Gabrielas, Sharpays y Ryans de todas y todas los demás. Bienvenidos a Binging Barbie. I'm your host Jay, and with me I have my co-host, Ovi un mega nerdazo, John.
What did you call me, little punk?
This is a podcast about toy media franchises, 2000s nostalgia, and other such ephemera. And in that spirit, today we will be discussing the 3 spin-offs of the High School Musical franchise from Latin America. High School Musical El Desafío. There's the Argentina, Mexico, and Brazil versions. And joining us to discuss these movies is our own high school friend, Autocontrol, jovencita, autocontrol, Emily.
Hey, I just saw what you did there with the autocontrol. Good job.
That's like, in the Argentina version, that's the teacher's catchphrase.
Mhm.
Not in any of the other ones, though. Like, she says it in the Mexico one, and the Brazil one, I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, before we begin, I watched the Brazil version, John watched the Mexico version, Emily watched the Argentina version. They are slightly different, but very much they're based on the same script. We'll talk about it. But yeah, before we do that, Emily, what is your High School Musical history? Were you a fan of the series as it was coming out?
Yeah, very much so. I was obsessed with it. I was a kid when it came out. What year did it come out?
The first one was 2006.
Yeah, so I was 7 years old, and I remember seeing it in like the newspaper when I was living in Argentina and being like, "Oh my gosh, this looks so cool!" And yeah, we watched it uh, after prom, I think, one year
Oh
when we went
yeah,
to the junior senior banquet. Yeah, we
yeah,
watched that. So it's been with me throughout my life. I loved it.
yeah. Were you aware of the Argentina version?
Not until you asked me. I had no idea.
Yeah, this was. I think I was vaguely aware that they were doing this, but not like I had never seen any of these international versions. John, were you at all familiar?
No, I've never heard about it until you told me. I thought when I suggested this to you, we were just gonna watch 3 films, and then you were like, "Oh yeah," but then there's Sharpay. Oh, by the way, there's these 3 Latin American versions. Then there's the Chinese version, and whatever else we're
Yeah.
gonna be doing. I don't
No,
know.
we thought when we planned High School Musical it was going to be, well, John, you thought the trilogy. I knew about the Sharpay spinoff, and then we looked it up on Wikipedia. It's like, oh, there's 4 other High School Musical movies.
Yes, and instead of being rational people and just watching the main ones, you decided to do the other ones as well. So here we
Yes.
are.
I mean, you have to do the series justice.
Yeah.
Do we though?
Well, yeah. For context on these, the with the global success of the first High School Musical movie, Disney sort of started looking for different ways to adapt the series to international markets, and one of the ways they decided to do this is to make an original musical movie based on the High School Musical spin-off novel, The Battle of the Bands by N.B. Grace. So they brought in a couple of screenwriters from Argentina to write the script. And then, rather than doing a normal casting process, in the summer of 2007, Disney partnered with local TV stations in both Argentina and Mexico on a reality competition show, High School Musical, La Selección. And so the people were competing for the roles in the new High School Musical movie that was being made. So yeah, the winners are the casts of these movies.
So they did a Battle of the Bands for a Battle of the Bands movie, basically.
Essentially, yeah.
Hey, it worked.
Yep.
Yeah, yep.
So yeah, these 2 movies, they're both, the Mexico and Argentina versions are both titled High School Musical El Desafío, and they share the same script, songs, and locations. They were both filmed in Argentina, weirdly. We'll get into sort of the relationships these have with their home nations a little further down. But yeah, after their success, a couple years later, Disney decided to make a Brazilian version as well. That's High School Musical O Desafio, or Desafio. I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese, which is relevant to this because I did watch the Brazil one and there were no subtitles. So I was a little bit confused when I saw that one, and then I watched the other two because why not? And then the plot made a lot more sense. Yeah, it's wild that they did this.
Yeah, and it's wild because I was living in Argentina at the time. It's wild that I didn't hear about it.
Yeah,
I'm so intrigued.
yeah. I wonder. I think they were targeting a slightly older demographic than like the movie, like because I guess the movies had like a pretty wide range, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you could be right.
So tell us who made these films.
Well, yeah. First up, I have the release dates here. Um, the Argentina and Mexico ones were both released in 2008, which I think actually makes 2008 the most covered year on this podcast with the most series involved because we have
Wow.
Barbie movies released in 2008, like Mariposa is one of them. I think
Okay.
Diamond Castle is the other. Christopher Nolan with The Dark Knight. Greta Gerwig with Nights and Weekends, her directorial debut that everyone forgets about. Um, Beverly Hills Chihuahua,
Oh.
and then now 3 High School Musicals because this is also the year that High School Musical 3 came out.
Wow, what a year, 2008.
Yeah, and a future miniseries, which I will not disclose yet, that we might be doing, that does also have a release in 2008.
Exciting.
So yeah, they were actually released in the sort of build up to High School Musical 3. The Argentina one on July 17 and the Mexico one on September 5. Then the Brazilian version came out a couple years later, February 5, 2010. So yeah, the Argentina version is directed by Jorge Nisco, who's a TV and film director from Argentina. The Mexico version is directed by Eduardo Ripari, who's a Mexican telenovela director. I believe all 3 of these directors have worked on telenovelas, but that's like seems to be his thing. And then the Brazilian version was made by Cesar Rodriguez, who's a Brazilian film and TV director. And they're all written by Pablo Lago and Susana Cardoza, who are TV writers from Argentina. But there are adaptations made to the script. The one from Brazil, obviously, they translated it into Portuguese, but there's also different phrases, or they'll use different local slang, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then some plot differences as well. Less different events and more the order of events getting shuffled around or the severity of events.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you could kind of feel them tinkering away at the story to try and figure out what's the best way to tell it. And then yeah, we have music by Fernando Lopez Rossi, who did all of the songs, and the songs are also translated into each of the different
So,
countries.
and I'm sure we'll get into this, but like the songs kind of change in the different movies. So like,
Yeah,
did he write different music for the song? Like, that's so
I'm
interesting to me.
yeah, I couldn't find much info on the soundtracks in the stuff that I could find, the research that I did. But yeah, they did specifically adapt. The Mexico one introduces sort of some reggaeton into the
Yeah.
songs, and then the Brazilian one adds a couple like more rock type songs. So yeah, I assume that's like local
Yeah.
production people kind of
Mm-hmm.
coming
That's
in and
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into the plot of this film. And so a thing to point out is that character names will vary depending on version. So for when discussing the different films or when discussing the plot here, I'm just going to use the names from the original High School Musical characters so that they make sense to y'all. But anyway, arriving home from summer break, we have Troy, who is surprised to see his neighbor Gabriella has changed since he last saw her. He quickly develops a crush on her, and during an assembly on the first day of school, Miss Darbus announces that the school will be hosting a music competition, and the winners will get the opportunity to perform with a local pop star. And so popular mean girl Sharpay and her put upon brother Ryan are the first to sign up. And despite this, Sharpay does not actually intend for Ryan to sing. Troy is initially reluctant, but his teammates convince him to join their band. shocking considering the other
Yeah, it's a
ones.
reverse of the
Yeah, of the original films. Anyway, between
yeah.
classes, Gabriella starts tutoring Ryan, and she's able to help him using music, which catches the attention of Miss Darbus and the pop star, who encourage them to sign up for the musical competition later. Ryan also agrees to help Troy and his band with their song. Gabriella and Troy develop feelings for each other, naturally, of course. Gabriella doubts after Troy stands her up, and she has a heartfelt conversation with a trusted friend and forgives Troy when he apologizes to her. They decide to work together for the competition, and Sharpay gets wind of Ryan's participation in other acts and starts trying to sabotage him. She eventually convinced her parents to forbid Ryan from entering the competition. But the night of the competition, Troy convinces Ryan to sneak out and join the performance. And Troy's band wins the competition, and hooray, everybody dances.
Woo!
La
Yay.
di da.
Yep, that was the movie I watched.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there are slight differences which we'll get into a little bit further down, but yeah, these are the same scripts. There's some variations, but the story, as much as with the Brazil one, I was very much interpreting based off of visual, so there's certain things that I interpreted differently, but that might not have actually been different because I was not understanding much of the dialogue. But yeah, everything I say about the Brazil version do take with a grain of salt if it's not like the visuals, because I did not understand what I was watching. But yeah, honestly I didn't find this half bad.
For the time, for the production, yeah, I mean, and part of it was like nostalgia because I was just like, oh my gosh, places that look familiar to me, like, oh, these houses and the architecture and stuff like that. So part of it, like, I didn't even care what was happening on screen. I just was having fun watching it. And then the outfits too from
Oh
like
yeah,
2008. Oh my word. And the fingerless gloves that everybody was wearing. Oh, it just threw, oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to capture the spirit of the original films with this, so it was fun.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think the music competition is really smart
Hmm.
because it's
Yeah.
different enough from the other High School Musical movies to stand out, but it is still, it's music in high school and makes sense for High School Musical. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting that it's actually adapted from a spin-off novel. Um, that kind of ties everything together.
Yeah. I wonder when the novel was written.
I believe it was written around the same time,
Okay.
like after
Yeah.
the first movie, but before the second movie.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about this is the support on the supporting characters, or the focus on the supporting characters.
Yes. I actually, that was a note I had, was how big of a role Ryan plays throughout the movie, or
Yeah,
the Ryan character. I kept on saying that when I was watching. I was like, wow, he's having a lot of screen time and like character development, and like, because you don't get that much in the original movie. So I thought
yeah.
that was really cool.
He's almost
Yeah,
the
no, in the original
protagonist.
film, like, we were
Yeah,
really wanting more Ryan, so.
it's true.
Yeah, but even beyond him, like, you get a much better sense for all of the different characters outside of Troy and Gabriella, the Troy and Gabriella characters. I think they really learned the right lessons from High School Musical 2. These were developed before High School Musical 2 had come out, but sort of filmed afterwards. So you can kind of feel that they're able to work some stuff out and be like, okay, let's bring the Ryan character a little bit more forward. Let's have more of the supporting cast play bigger roles here.
Yeah, and I think it was really, that was one of my favorite parts, I think, about the movie, was getting to explore this universe a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mentioned this a little bit, but it is interesting to see how they're working on the story between the movies. So the biggest way you can see this is in Troy and Gabriella's breakup, um, quote unquote breakup. In the Argentina version, it's Troy and Gabriella plan this date, but then Troy gets busy and he cancels the date. And Gabriella's a little like, well, that was, I mean, we had something and now you're deprioritizing it. Like, what's going on? But then she talks with the pop star of the movie, and the pop star's like, hey, you should do what you want. You know, the heartfelt speech that always happens in these movies. So she forgives him and accepts him back. In the Mexico version, Gabriella talks with the pop star before any of this happens, and then Troy stands her up on the date. They had this date planned, and then he gets pulled aside for football practice,
Mhm.
and he never calls her or anything. He
You could
just
tell that the director
yeah
was one for a telenovela.
yeah no, the drama is
The
boosted in
drama.
this one. So obviously Gabriella is like genuinely disappointed of like, what, we had this like plan and you didn't call or anything, like not even the next day an apology, he just avoids her.
Dang, that's harsh.
Yeah. um it's wild. She should not have accepted him back after that, but in the plot of the movie she kind of has to. But after this she talks with Taylor, the Taylor character, who in this one is like more of Sharpay's lackey. But yeah, and then forgives Troy when he comes and asks for forgiveness, and that's actually a good scene, which we'll have to get to a little later. But yeah, the interesting change made there. And then in the Brazil one, I think they said, okay, maybe we went a bit too far with that one. So it's a, I guess part of it is I don't speak the language, so I'm not 100% sure of what happens. But it feels a little less solid of like they were going to do something, but then wasn't fully clear that they were going to do it, and then Troy doesn't end up showing up, and he actually tries to call her, but he does, like his dad takes his phone or something, so it's not his fault fully that he does not let her know. um
Kind
and
of
then
like they mixed the storyline for the Argentine and the Mexican
yeah,
one a little bit.
yeah, and then they do move this conversation with the pop star after, um
Yeah.
and then she has her whole big song, so there it's like with the song she's actually working something out, whereas with the Mexico version it's like she has that song and then this whole breakup happens and you're like, what is she working out with this song?
It's a preemptive workout song.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll get into like the visual and stylistic differences between the three further down, but yeah, the different approaches they take to the story is, but this is fundamentally the same story between all three. It's battle of the bands, a little bit of romance, Ryan and Sharpay.
Really cool vehicles,
Yes. We'll talk about the vehicles of
sharp
the visual.
vehicles.
Yes. she each one she has iconic vehicles.
I
I
love
think the Argentina version has the most insane,
it.
but they all are very, very interesting. Yeah, this plot just, something about it just works. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but
Yeah, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was, I think, I there was a sense of like for a while I was like, so what's the problem in the Argentine one? I was like, what's the problem? What's the problem? Everything seems to be going fine, and I feel like the third act issue came in really late,
yeah,
and I think that for me, I was like, okay, now I feel the story moving. Um, but I mean, that's what am I
that's
going to do? Like that, this movie was made in 2008. Like,
that is actually something that all three share, where they have some pacing issues in the second act, where, because yeah, you have that conflict with Ryan and Sharpay at odds with each other. That only gets introduced in the last 30 minutes of each version.
okay,
Um, so that is consistent across all three, and I do wonder. I kind of wish they had, after the first one has gets a little too slow in that parts. Maybe they could have just cut out like 10 minutes of it,
yeah,
because 80 minutes is not great for a movie that you're putting out in theaters, but it would flow a lot better.
yeah, yeah.
John, what are your thoughts on the plot here?
I don't have a whole lot to say. You kind of nail it on the point. So
Okay. Now we'll get more into here's something we should actually talk about briefly is the tone of each of these. So the Argentina version, I think, is playing it very safe. It's staying very close to the High School Musical style established in the original two High School Musical movies specifically. Um, yeah, it's fascinating watching all three and seeing that Argentina version, the performances, the visuals, they're all very similar to the High School Musical style.
Hmm.
Um, then with the Mexico one, they go in the complete opposite direction. It's a lot campier, a lot more comedic, a lot more energetic. The emotions are more sweeping. It's it's wild. John, what did you think of the comedy in the Mexican version?
Well, I mean, it's campy, that's for sure. I don't know. It wasn't really my style of comedy, but
Okay.
I uh of like the Mexico based films or shows that I've watched, so like El Chavo. I don't know if any of you remember El Chavo or seen
Yes.
El Chavo,
Hmm.
but like that one's very silly and ridiculous. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, they're fun. They're trying to do fun, so yeah.
Yeah, it's very much in that style. For a comparison scene in the Argentina version, the scene where Troy asks Ryan to help their band out. They're in the locker room, and then Ryan has a little outburst of like, "Oh, I get to be on the team." In the Mexico version, they're on like the field outside of the campus, right by a river, and they're talking, and then Sharpay shows up. So Troy pushes Ryan, and he like tumbles into the river.
Oh my gosh. Wait, can we go back to the Argentine one though? Because he
Yeah.
literally had to dance out his thought process because
Yes.
that's how Gabriella taught him how to do math, was to dance. And I was so happy they kept that throughout the movie and he just had to like dance out. He's like, "Oh my gosh, this guy plus this guy," and he's doing all these dances. I laughed so hard at that. I just because I wasn't expecting it.
That's not going to help in an exam, but yeah.
No.
Though he does get a 10 on his exam.
He
So,
does because he's able to tap out the
yeah.
beat to math.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
I don't know how that helps with trigonometry, but I did not do well in trigonometry, so maybe I just
Same, so
needed to
don't ask
dance.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Brazil version, again, I don't speak Portuguese. I keep bringing this up just because I feel kind of I need to cover my bases a little bit so that if anything I say, take with a grain of salt. If someone actually speaks Portuguese and wants to tell me where I'm wrong or right, go ahead. But yeah, it kind of strikes the balance between the two. Um, the style of it is more grounded in that original High School Musical aesthetic, but it does have a little bit of heightening here and there. There isn't nearly as much visual comedy. There might be some um like spoken comedy, but I obviously wasn't gonna catch on to that. My Portuguese is as good as what I can understand knowing Spanish, which is not
Yeah.
a whole lot. If I'm reading it, I can, but they only had auto generated
Oof.
subtitles, and I don't think that they were talking that the first musical number was about assassinations and vomiting. Um,
I mean, you don't know,
I
but
don't know. I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese. Maybe that's what it was about. I kind of suspect that was the subtitles.
that's hilarious.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating. I was going to save this recommendation for the end of the episode, but I think I will say now, like, if you're going to watch one, and part of it is the Mexico one is on YouTube with English subtitles. So if you're going to watch one and you only speak English, that's the one to watch. But I do think it is the best of the three.
Yeah, I mean, I will say like I thought there was a lot of the Argentine spirit missing in the Argentine movie. Their accents were impeccable, and
Yes.
that to hear that accent again, it was so good. But like there was that one scene in the kitchen, and I was really hoping that they would be making like empanadas. Like pizza is a
Yeah.
big food there, but I was hoping like for empanadas or something. There was no mate in sight. They were playing rugby instead of soccer, and like rugby is
Oh
popular
yeah,
there,
we
but
should.
like
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
just there are so many questions. So many choices were made, and I don't know if they were always the best ones to encompass Argentina and the Argentine culture.
Yeah. I did talked about this a bit with the visuals, but yeah, there's the national identity of these three is very interesting. So the Argentina one, they're playing it very, very safe, very close to the High School Musical aesthetic. I wonder if Disney was almost thinking, we want to, even though this is for Argentina, we want to take it global.
Yeah,
So you
I
don't
could see
have,
that.
yeah, you don't have that same attachment to the culture. You don't have any like iconic locations. Like it's very much, here's the like middle class community that everything is taking place in, and then the school.
Hmm.
um, and the same with the Mexico one, since that one was filmed in Argentina, it has a similar thing as well. The visuals and the style of it are more energetic, and you get a more of a sense for the culture. But again, you don't have your it's filmed in a middle class Argentine suburb, so it's
I
not
mean,
really.
they have a whole song and dance number about playing football. So,
Yes, that one they switch it from rugby to football, which
mm,
Which just makes sense.
mm-hmm.
that
Yep.
song,
It's great.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's interesting. But then the Brazil version, I mean, it's a similar thing, but they're filming it in Brazil, in Rio. So
Mm.
Troy's big, like, um, it's the golf course musical number from High School Musical 2, but they put it in this one, where he's running around and being angsty. And that one, it actually takes place around Rio. So you're seeing like the Redeemer statue, you're seeing these locations that are iconically Brazilian. And I was like, oh, I wish the others had more of that in
Yeah,
in their construction.
yeah, for sure.
Because yeah, it's like we're making three versions of the movie for, set in different locations. Like, let's get a,
Especially if you're gonna reuse the script, which is
yeah,
fine, and like reuse the same songs and stuff like that. The thing that's gonna make the movie different is that it's based in different countries.
yeah,
So lean into that if you can.
which they do a pretty good job of distinguishing the three. But yeah, there isn't that like, it's all in the dialogue
Hmm.
and in
Hmm.
the style and the editing. It isn't really there in like the locations or the sensibilities, or like, yeah, it's pizza in all three. They're making pizza in the kitchen in all three. Actually, I'm trying to remember the Brazilian one. It might not have been pizza there, but I'm pretty sure it was pizza.
I mean, pizza is a universal love language,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
And at least in the Mexico one, they're like making a big deal of like the teacher is pretending to be Italian or might actually be Italian, and it's a little bit up in the air about which is the case.
I mean, it would make sense in the Argentine one for the teacher to be
Yeah,
Italian. So like with that, I believed it, but that's hilarious that they did that in the Mexican one.
yeah. That they might have in the Portuguese one again. I have no idea. If he could have been speaking pure Italian, and I wouldn't have noticed that it wasn't Portuguese unless I was paying close enough attention, which I might not have been. Because
Just
I was just like,
categorized as not Spanish.
yeah. Well, yeah, because I was trying to decipher from the visuals what the story was, which
Yeah.
I would say I did a pretty decent job. I got most things right.
Yeah.
I did not fully realize that Ryan and Sharpay were supposed to be brother and sister. I was not sure what their relationship was. I was like, well, I think these are Ryan and Sharpay, but I can't be sure. And then
Yeah,
it
I
looks
didn't
like,
know if they were siblings until they went to the same house after
yes.
school, and then I was like, okay, definitely siblings.
But yeah, all that to say, I think if you're going to watch just one, the Mexico version is the one that is the most like, we're taking High School Musical and we're transplanting it. Um, but all three of them have upsides and downsides, which we'll get into as we get into the categories. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
any other thoughts on the story before we move on to characters?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I gave the story a 4 out of 5. I think it's just a smart interpretation of the High School Musical brand.
Yeah.
Are
I
we?
give it a
Are,
3. Yeah.
okay, I was like, are we all saying the numbers? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I gave it a 3.5. So in the middle of you two.
Yeah. So yeah.
I forgot what I was doing there for a second. I was like, yeah.
So yeah, on to the characters. First up, we have the Troy character, aka Fer, aka Cristobal, aka Olavo. Interestingly, Fer is the name of the Ryan character in the Mexico version,
Oh, that's not
which is
confusing.
part of why I decided for the plot summary we were just going to use the U.S. versions of these characters.
That's
Mhm.
smart.
Yeah. I love this idea of like, okay, in the first High School Musical, it's established Troy likes singing, his team does not. That's the conflict. So I love that they've swapped it around here.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, I just want to play rugby. Like the first scene is basically the dad's like, so summer's over, and the Troy character is like, yep, and I'm only going to think of rugby. And then right after that, he sees Gabriella and crashes the car. It was a great first shot.
Yeah. It's nice, I think, in part because so much of the angst of the original High School Musical is you can't play sports and sing. So here establishing that it's actually his teammates who are like, hey, let's do this singing. And he's the one who's the stick in the mud. It makes it a little less angsty in that way, which I appreciate. Not that the angst is bad. It's just like we've already seen that.
Yeah, plus, like, it also just wasn't the best in the film. And, like, their quick turnaround to being like, oh, okay, I guess we were wrong in, like, one scene. Just didn't work out,
in
so.
the original High School Musical, the basketball team who destroy Troy's relationship with Gabriella, just like break any kind of trust that Troy should ever have in him, and then they're like, oh, we're sorry.
I know, basically defiles his character, and then, oh, maybe we went a little too far.
He's not
like a
playing
chin-scratching
basketball
moment.
good anymore.
Yeah.
Which, okay, every single High School Musical movie that I have seen up until this point, there's 2 that I have not yet seen, but all the original trilogy, all 3 of the Desafío movies have a scene where Troy is trying to play sports, but he's sad, and because he's sad, he is not able to play sports well.
Yes. But you can't do that with rugby,
No, yeah.
and so he's literally just throwing the ball back and forth between his hands.
No, and all the other ones in the original trilogy, he's trying to shoot baskets and he keeps missing. In the Mexico and Brazil one, he's trying to score goals and he can't. In the Argentina one, he's just passing the ball back and forth
to himself, like. Yeah, that part killed me. It was hilarious.
Oh, what I really love about his, especially in the Mexico version, he's just so goofy in that version. Just like a huge departure from the original High School Musical. Troy was angsty and just he's cracking jokes and like doing slapstick, and it was hilarious to watch. And then, okay, John, we need to talk about the fake out apology scene.
Yeah.
So this is after Troy has stood up Gabriella, and she's in the theater. She's doing like the Romeo and Juliet thing, and Troy walks in and is like, hey, I'm sorry. And she's like, okay, I forgive you. And I was like, oh, that's a really bad apology. Like, he didn't say it. He was just like, I'm sorry. She's like, okay, I forgive you. I was like, boo, terrible. Then they reveal Troy walks into the theater. She's been imagining this whole thing.
No.
And like she's leaning back of like, oh, he's kissing her in her fantasy. She's leaning back and then she sees him walk in and she falls down, and it's a whole thing. And then he actually gives like a more sincere apology.
It was very confusing, to be sure. I was like, what's going on?
I just my arc of emotions in that is like the first apology, I'm like, this is a terrible apology. She should not be accepting him back. And then
Yeah.
the actual apology happens, and it's like, if they had just done the actual apology, I would have been like, no, it doesn't work. But since they've now established, oh, she just really wants him back, like, the apology doesn't matter. And the fact that the apology he gives is actually a little bit more sincere than the one she was imagining, that's kind of nice. It made that plot point of her going back with him after he stood her up, made that a little bit easier to swallow.
Sure.
But yeah, I think the Argentina one probably handles that breakup the best, just because it isn't as big of a deal.
Yeah, and it wasn't like they broke up. It was just
Yeah.
kind of like she got all ready for the date, and then he's like, "Sorry, I can't come." Um,
Shirtless.
and shirtless, yes.
on the
But then the scene right after, he's wearing a shirt again, which makes me think he took off his shirt just for the phone call. That's what I would like to believe.
I think that's the only shirtless scene in any of these three.
And it had to be the Argentine one, because half the time the guys don't wear shirts. So anyway, she's all made up and pretty, and he calls her and is like, I can't do a date, and I probably can't do a date for the foreseeable future. And that just makes her really sad. And she's like, never mind. Why did I even bother to try to like become who I am if no one's gonna treat me right and see me? And she's like sulking in the library because she got turned down by one dude. Which, it's high school, so that's fair. But
Sure. Yeah.
when he does apologize to her, it was very sincere, and it wasn't like he had done anything really terrible.
Yeah.
He just like realized that his priorities were kind of mixed up, and he admits that to everybody. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and there it works because, yeah, he hasn't stood her up and then not talked to her the next day, like in the Mexico version.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. The Brazil version kind of cuts the difference between the two. He does stand her up, but he's a little bit less brash about things. Also, all three of them, I think, have the video call. But in the Brazil one, it's like one of the first times that they talk in the movie.
Oh wow.
And then in the Argentina one, it's like he calls her to say, hey, I can't make it to the date. And then in the Mexico one, they like say 2 words to each other. It's like barely there.
Are they neighbors in all of the iterations?
Yes.
Okay.
And they talk through the windows. I don't know if they do that in the Mexico version. But
that was the most extra way to talk through a window.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that they actually read the words that they wrote. For context, they took a marker, just like a normal Sharpie, and wrote on their windows, and then shined a flashlight so that they could read it. She literally puts paper down to then grab a marker to write on the window.
Okay, I forgot to look this up. Emily, you might know off the top of your head, but if you don't, I'm looking this up. When did Taylor Swift's You Belong to Me with Me come out?
It probably was around then, because that probably came out in like 2009, so maybe right after.
Because the Brazil version, they do the You Belong With Me thing of where they hold up the paper signs.
See, and that Taylor Swift invented writing on paper and showing it across
that had never
the
been
road.
Done
before, it had never been done before until Taylor Swift.
Prince Bythewood's Love and Basketball? Who is she?
Who is she?
But no, I think that's like, okay, this is a popular thing
for
that
sure.
Now, if we're gonna do the window scene, we might as well do the Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and I think it just works better because I could barely read the letters on the window.
Yeah, no. Oh boy. John, do you remember them talking via windows in the Mexico version?
Vaguely.
Okay. I think it might have just been like a very quick thing.
Yeah. No. I was 2 a.m. when I watched this, so I don't remember.
Oh, John.
Oh yeah, Gabriella, aka August, aka Mariana, aka Renata. She's solid. I like her dynamic here. She starts out as the Mexico version puts, mega nerdasa, big nerd, who she's like she's come back from the suburbs, she's had like a growth spurt, and people are starting to look at her in a different way. That kind
Uh-huh.
of prompts her to be like, oh, is there more to who I am than just the mega nerdasa?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember in the Argentine one, like everyone kept on trying to like be like, "Oh, she's a mega nerd. She's such a nerd." But you
Yeah,
never really see her doing anything nerdy except for that one tutoring session with
yeah,
Ryan. That's like, I think she's just like you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hadn't really thought of that because that's just like the thing with the Gabriella character throughout all of these is she's like, oh, I'm such a nerd.
hmm
And then like I
With
guess she
this
does like
one,
the decathlon, but
yeah, yeah. With this one, it's more like she needed to get over her stage fright and being shy.
yeah,
I think that was the bigger character arc for her, whereas Troy needed to get over his like need of perfection and control and like allowing things to just happen.
yeah,
Um, so they even in these iterations, they go through different growth than they do in the original movies, which is cool.
yeah, yeah. And each one kind of has its own little flavor on that. Because I would say in the Mexico version, the stage fright is still there to an extent, but in that one, it's more of like an identity crisis of like
Mm,
what she sees herself as like this nerd, and then suddenly she's finding herself in a position where people aren't treating her like the nerd anymore. Um,
yeah,
then I'm not entirely sure about the Brazilian version. I can't say because
tis a
that was
mystery
not
to all.
communicated visually. Yeah, I think again we were talking about this. I think the Argentina version handles her relationship with the Troy character a whole lot better than the other two.
Mm,
Um, just yeah, making his infraction less severe makes her forgiveness more acceptable.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in the original film, like he just roasts her for no
yeah.
reason.
Yeah, no,
It's
well,
brutal.
yeah, the way Gabriella gets handled in any of these movies, I think High School Musical 2 is the only one that really nails her character. Um,
Which I don't remember that one at all. I think I need to
yeah,
rewatch High School Musical too.
in that one, she is incredibly emotionally intelligent, like in a way that just like you don't see in teen romance movies.
Mm,
So, because yeah, in that one, she Troy is like getting all of these cool things because he's working at this club, and Sharpay is like trying to win him over by lavishing him with expensive things. And he starts treating people poorly and starts like missing dates with Gabriella, and she's just like, "Hey, you are clearly going through something. It's nice that you're getting all of these nice things and you're working towards getting a scholarship, and that's a good thing. But I'm not there. You're not being a nice person to me. So I'm just gonna go. And hopefully
I
we can be
gotta
friends
go my
again."
own
Yeah.
way.
And it's
I
like,
remember the song.
which I think that's from the third one, where
Oh, oops.
she's a little less emotionally intelligent in that one. But no, it's
Okay,
like
no one at me. They all blur together.
they do. And yeah, that is the sentiment. Like she could be singing that song in that scene. But the thing that's so brilliant about it is she's just like, hey, this isn't working. I'm used to moving away from people. I
hmm
know when something is getting to the point where, you need to do the growing. I'm just gonna go, and you can
hmm
you can do what you want. And if you want to come back to me, I will be there, but I'm not gonna be waiting forever.
Queen
And then
energy.
yeah. Then in the third one, she's like, I'm having all of these doubts about what I want to do with my future, and rather than talking to my boyfriend about it, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna tell him I'm not leaving and then leave.
Yeah, a bit of a step back, I think, in her growth journey,
Yeah.
but it happens to the best of us.
Yep. It definitely happens to Mexican, I guess she's Mariana here.
Mexican Mariana.
She's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna. She's so in love with him that she's gonna accept any apology he gives, which is like, I get it. It's high school, of course, and the movie needs it to happen. But come on,
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
slightly higher standards for yourself.
Dignity, Mariana.
Yeah,
Dignity.
Now we need to talk about the Sharpays,
Oh my
Delphi,
gosh.
Lily, and Paula. She's like the classic mean girl here, to the extent that they've even added back the mean girl thing of having the two sidekicks that
Hmm.
constantly with her. In the Mexican version, they are just given so much more to do, because that one leans more into like the goofiness and the slapstick, but they do have good moments in all three. But yeah, Sharpay, she's just classic, iconic.
So
Yeah.
I need to know what vehicles she enters
Yes.
in.
So, okay, yeah, let's do a vehicle sidebar. So, in the Argentina version, she enters the first musical number riding a Segway.
A Segway! Oh my gosh. Iconic.
Yes. And then rides it through the halls of the school. And
Hmm.
it has like little like pink like side things for
Oh
holding
yeah,
her
it's
stuff.
completely Sharpayed.
Yeah.
Like, it is her Segway. No one could ever mistake it for anybody else's.
And then, as if that weren't enough, there's a scene later on where Troy and Gabrielle are sitting by like the side of this canal, and Sharpay rides up on a freaking jet ski.
On a pink jet ski day.
Jet ski. Just like shows up, splashes them. Oh, it's great.
It's great. It's
That-
so great.
I just wish that we could see that in every single version of Sharpay. Just the insane modes of transportation, because the Mexico one, she has a Jeep and that's kind of her thing, and then the
Well, a
Brazilian
Hummer.
one, a Hummer. A Hummer. Okay.
Mhm.
A pink Hummer.
A pink
Yeah,
Hummer.
A
Yes.
huge pink
with her own pink carpet. Oh, we'll talk about, I have a lot of things to say about Mexican Sharpay, but the Brazilian one that gives her like a Vespa type thing,
Okay.
which is a little less exciting. I think it peaked with Argentina, because
Yeah.
once you do the Segway and the jet ski, like those are
Yeah, I mean, unless if you go onto a pogo stick, I'm not quite sure what you could do next.
helicopter.
Helicopter.
oh, she better get a helicopter in
Oh, my
Sharpay's Fabulous
word.
Adventure.
Oh,
Do you know who's in Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure? Austin
No?
Butler.
no.
Yes.
Wow.
That was like
Is that
one
his-
of his early roles. Was as like
That's
the
amazing.
second lead in Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. I think first cast member of any High School Musical thing to get an Oscar nomination.
Zac Efron hasn't gotten an Oscar nomination?
No.
Whoa.
He
Yeah, I guess
hasn't
he
been in
didn't.
much.
Well, the Iron whatever movie that just came
Yeah,
out.
which
Well,
people wanted him to.
yeah.
But yeah, he hasn't been in, I mean, The Greatest Showman, but that wasn't like his movie.
Yeah.
And it's like Baywatch. No one was getting an Oscar for Baywatch. I don't know. He's been in other stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, Sharpay was definitely interesting. She was like conniving,
Yeah.
at least in the Argentine one. I'd imagine in all three. Like,
Oh yeah.
just like certifiably awful to her brother of all
Yes.
people. Like, I felt so bad for Ryan.
Yes, but still also like, you know, she's a queen and
Yes.
we stand unconditionally.
And also has a superpower with her voice, question mark? Or she can like
No, so-
bring the walls down basically
No,
when
so
she
that's
screams.
actually that's the Taylor. Or maybe it's, I don't know. There's three versions of this movie running through my head. Because
Yeah.
there's the scene early on where the Taylor character sings and it breaks something.
Yes, that is in Argentina too.
Yeah. So what are you referencing with the Sharpay in Argentina?
She runs into like the cafeteria and she screams for her brother, and just like tables that she's not even near, everything falls off the table,
Oh,
and like the
yeah.
wind starts blowing.
So they have a version of it in the Mexico version, but she's like yelling, and then her two lackeys look like they're being like their hair's
Oh my
all
gosh.
frazzled out, and
Mhm.
she also at one point yells for her brother, and from the entire opposite side of the school, he somehow magically hears her and runs like across the entire school to get to her.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Honestly, Avenger Sharpay question mark?
Yeah, no, imagine a No Way Home style movie with these
Yeah.
four. I would
That'd be
down.
amazing. I'd watch that. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I think though the Mexican version is just the best of the three. Like she's Luli. She gives US Sharpay a run for her money.
Oh.
Wow.
Hmm.
Like she's just hitting it out of the park in every scene. We'll talk about the performance, but
Yeah,
even just
but
like
it's Ashley Tisdale though.
I know, but it's tough because
Yeah.
we aren't gonna make our iconic queens fight against each other.
We
I just
could,
she's
but
just
we're
like
not.
so over the top in everything. Like she gets to go further than Sharpay does in the original High School Musical trilogy, just in terms of like the drama and the performance. And we'll get to the actors in a second, but yeah, just so much fun to watch her exist in any scene she was in, especially in the Mexican version, but in all three versions. It's
Hmm.
just like so much fun. Yeah, her and the Ryan character are throughout the entire series usually the most engaging characters to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Because they get to just be crazy and over the top and campy and like, yeah.
Which is maybe why I like the Mexican version so much, because it brings that energy to all of the characters as
Yeah,
well.
makes sense.
But yeah, Sharpay, any version of Sharpay, any version of this character, like Regina George in Mean Girls is
Hmm.
also great. Um, but yeah, no, great. Her arc about like her voice is interesting. Of like, she's not the best singer, especially in the
Yes.
Mexican version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she is outshined by her backup singers.
Well, in the Argentine version, Taylor keeps on outshining her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In the Mexican version, like the scene where they're practicing, she is actively bad.
Oh, wow.
Um, and then when they do the actual performance, she's doing quite a bit better, but
Hmm.
not as good as the Taylor character.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that sort of like mini arc that she goes on, where she kind of like has to begrudgingly accept that her brother is fine without her.
And also talented and
Yeah,
is his own person and she needs to let him go and yeah.
which I actually kind of like the way the Mexican version approaches it, where she's not being entirely sincere in the end.
Oh.
So they announce the winner, and she's expecting to be the winner, and she's not the winner, and she like snatches the like card that says the winner's name on it to like make sure that she heard it right, and then she like starts
Wow.
crying, and she's like wiping her tears with the little paper that says the band's name, Fair Play. She's
Oh
just
my
like wiping
God.
her tears with it. And then at
Yeah,
the end,
the whiplash in the Argentine one where she all of a sudden is like, "Oh, I've learned my lesson. I need
yeah,
to be nice to people and I need to actually practice my skills." I was like, "Where did that come from?"
yeah, no, the Mexican version plays it a lot differently in a way that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Thoughts on these versions of Sharpay, John?
I mean, I'm always gonna think that the original was better, but yeah, no, Mexican Sharpay was something.
Okay, her entrance, which I made you all watch from the Mexican version, is just so good. Like she gets out of the car and like Ryan has this pink umbrella and it goes up and then you see her face and she like walks directly towards the camera.
Yep.
And then like I
Well,
want
before that they rolled out
yeah,
the pink carpet for her to walk
yes.
on. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so good.
she's flanked by all of her like people, and then she's like she walks towards the school and then realizes not everyone is paying attention to her, and like turns around, and the way she turns around and it just looks directly at the camera,
Hmm.
and it's just so good, and it's
It is. Yeah,
yeah.
I will concede that one was a really good entrance.
Yeah, I because I was curious before I watched these just to get a sense of like, I wasn't sure if I was going to watch all three, because I was like, oh, I want to watch the Brazilian version because that's the one that I've assigned myself to do, because I didn't want to make either of you watch a version in a language you don't speak. And then I was like, oh, I'll watch the Argentina version just because I'm curious to see a version in Spanish that I can actually understand.
Hmm.
But I don't feel the need to watch the Mexican version. And then I watched that opening number of the Mexican version. I was like, oh, I need to see this one too.
Yeah, I can't believe you watched all three of them. That's great.
It was, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but it was interesting. It's not, they're fun enough and different enough that there's a lot
Hmm.
to think about while you're watching them.
Yeah.
But as the pacing is a little bit off, like especially the Mexican one, which I watched last, like at the end of the second act, I was getting a little bit like, okay, when are we gonna be done with this? So that as it
Yeah.
was getting closer here, I'm like, okay, I've already seen these scenes, like I'll just skip a few seconds ahead.
Hmm. Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, no, she was the reason that entrance was the reason that I was like, oh, I need to watch the Mexican version to see what's going on here.
Hmm. What did you rate your characters?
Oh, we need to talk about Ryan,
How could I forget about Ryan?
aka Walter, aka Fer, aka Felipe. He's the best.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his characterization. And it's so the thing with Ryan in the original High School Musical trilogy is he's very queer coded. And
Hmm.
here each movie takes like a slightly different direction with that. I think he's the least queer coded in the Brazilian version. Um and then Argentina kind of like, yeah, you could see it. And then Mexico's, you could see it a little bit more.
Hmm.
I wonder if part of that is just like the actors maybe not being quite as comfortable with that
Yeah.
part of the role, just because those societies, especially, I think Mexico is more conservative.
Yeah, Argentina is not.
Yeah,
So, yeah, they have a lot more freedom there. But
yeah,
it definitely, like when the Ryan character came up, it's like, okay, I can definitely see like the inspirations behind this character and stuff like that. But I thought
yeah,
he did a good job of like this conflict within him of like he's good at singing and dancing and like musical things, but he still wants like to be involved with the rugby team and like he
yeah,
wishes that he could be friends with them and stuff like that. So I thought that was cool.
yeah. And his arc ends up kind of being the spine of the movie. Like
Yeah,
that's who we're following almost more than trying Gabriella. Is
absolutely. Yeah.
his development of like he needs to move out from underneath his sister's shadow,
Hmm.
kind of strike out on his own, which is, it's interesting because the Argentina version makes a very big deal of like individualism versus collectivism,
Yes.
and this idea that people are too individualistic, we need to work together, and have this like unified school spirit.
Yeah.
um, so Ryan kind of moving from his more like family focused, like focusing on just this is what my parents and my sister expect of me, to then being like, oh, I can find my place within this larger community. I thought that was
Hmm.
really smart way
Yeah.
of approaching that.
Yeah. Really cool.
And that isn't called out in the Mexican version as specifically, but it is still a theme there. Thoughts on Ryan, John?
Uh, no.
Oh, he has disguises in each of the movies when he's trying to avoid his sister. In the
Oh,
Argentina version, he's just like wrapped his head in like
a
cloth.
jacket or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Mexican version, he dresses up as a reggaetonero, like a person who sings reggaeton.
Oh my
It's
gosh. I
wild.
kind of need to watch this now.
Yeah. Honestly, like it is interesting enough that even though you've already seen the Argentina version, I'm kind of like, yeah, the Mexican version just like it has its own energy in a way that makes it
Hmm.
exciting to watch. And it has English subtitles on YouTube, so if you want to watch it with people who don't speak Spanish, it's a little bit easier to get them on board with that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it just has such an
What
energy.
did he dress up as in the Brazilian one? Do you remember?
I'm not recalling off the top of my head.
Okay.
I think it was closer to the Argentina version.
Okay.
I think in general, those two are like the closest to each other, just in terms of style. Oddly though, they keep the reggaeton thing from the
Yeah.
Mexico version. It's like it's the same beat.
Yeah.
They're just they've changed
I
the
noticed.
lyrics. Whereas between Argentina and Mexico, everything is wildly changed.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, then we have all of the side characters who get different amounts of focus. The composer character Kelsey in the original, here she's Sophie or Steffi or Bia, is pretty prominent in the Argentina and Brazil versions, where she's kind of the Ryan and Gabriella characters are practicing their thing. She's there, kind of like helping them. She is almost entirely missing from the Mexico version.
Injustice.
Like she's in the background of a lot of stuff, and then they're like, "Hey, we need to find a composer," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, where is Kelsey? Who is Kelsey?"
Who is Kelsey?
And then she shows up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's who that character has been this entire."
Somebody call Eduardo Ripari. I have notes.
It works because of the different energy, but it's like, yeah, she kind of appears. And you're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that this character is a big deal in the other versions of this movie."
That's funny.
Yeah, then we also have the sports ball team, the rugby team or football team, depending on which version you're watching. They each have like their thing. There's the one who's obsessed with the pop star, which
Yes.
same sis, like I get that. In the Mexican version, he actually like gets the guitar of the pop star, like he has to borrow her guitar.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff there. Then there's the one who's in love with the Taylor character.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's so underplayed in the Argentine movie that I
That's
was so shocked that they even knew each other.
that is the only one that they make any point of it.
That's funny.
Like in the other ones, it isn't even brought up as like a
Yeah.
thing. In the Argentine one, it's just like they have a little moment together, and then
Oh yeah, and they're dating.
in the other ones, I don't think they even interact like
Interesting.
notably. And then there's the one who's like a little bit less intelligent, I think is what he's characterized as.
They started blurring together, I'm not gonna
Oh yeah,
lie.
yeah. And I saw because there's three of them in the Argentine and Mexico versions, and then there's four in the Brazilian version. They add
Oh
another one,
no.
and I also don't speak Portuguese, so I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah. And all the hairstyles are the same, so that
Yeah,
didn't help. And yeah.
I just think they have a nice chemistry, especially. I keep bringing this up. The Mexico version, I just had a great time with it. Their chemistry in that one as a team is just so good. You get the sense that
Mm.
they're friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Then we also have Los Invisibles, Sharpay's little gaggle of.
Oh yeah.
They get a little bit of an arc. They're especially in the Argentina. Well, yeah, you have the Taylor character who's very much. She's been conscripted onto Sharpay's team, and Sharpay's kind of, at least in the Mexico version, she's doing that specifically so that Gabriella doesn't have anyone to be on her team. Like she
Oh.
singles out Taylor as like, hey. I think in the Argentina version she hears Taylor sing,
I think that's what it is.
and that's what gets her the role. In the Mexico
Yeah.
version, Gabriella and Taylor are like talking about like, oh hey, do you have anyone on your crew? And then Sharpay shows up and like, Taylor, you're with me. She's like, okay.
Okay.
And then they wheel out the skeleton to be like, Gabriella, this person doesn't have a team.
I know, it was so random.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. And then in the Mexican version, because that's a little bit goofier, they have some great moments of
Hmm.
Sharpay enters a room at one point and closes the door before they get in, and they're just like knocking on the door, Luli, Luli, Luli.
Yeah. Oh, did the girls speak in unison in the other versions?
Yes, they
Okay,
did. Yep. Oh.
that makes sense.
The last character, I guess I do have something about the dad, but the teacher, the Miss Darbus here, the
Oh my
drama
gosh.
teacher, three very distinct characterizations. I think this is the character that changes the most between the three. Because in
Okay.
Argentina, she's basically Miss Darbus, of like this kind
Yes.
of eccentric teacher who no one really likes her, but I mean, she's fine at her job.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's kind of fun there. She has her whole autocontrol thing, which
Autocontrol,
is
autocontrol.
every time.
Self-control.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should have mentioned that. But yeah,
No,
just very much a Miss Darvis. In the Mexican version, her main characteristic is that she is so exasperated and done with everything.
dang.
Like, we had
A
these
true
kinds
teacher.
of teachers at our school of just like they're overworked and don't have time for anything, so everything is like, you do this now or you get in trouble.
Yep.
And her thing, instead of autocontrol, she is constantly docking points from people. So
Oh.
like un punto menos, or if they do something good, un punto más.
Well, in the Argentine one, she keeps on taking away a specific person's like recess or his break.
Yeah. So
That
in the
too.
Mexican version, it's changed to
Yeah, the
points.
puntos.
Yeah, she's just like a very different interpretation that I
Hmm.
thought was a lot of fun. John, did you enjoy the Mexican Miss Darbus character?
Yeah, I mean, not as wild or as iconic as the original, but certainly very teachery.
Very different. Very. I just when she showed up and started like yelling at people, I was like, okay, this is an interesting direction to take it. And then, in the Brazil one, she's just kind of like a nice teacher. Like she's a little bit eccentric, but
Interesting.
not like yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last character I wanted to bring up is the dad, because I think the Mexican version of this is the first time that we've seen the dad apologize for anything.
Oh, interesting.
He does in the original High School Musical, but I don't think it's like a
No.
scene.
I don't
No, he
remember
doesn't.
it.
Okay. And in the second one, so the second one, Troy is like, "Hey, Dad, I have this summer job, and I need your advice. I'm having trouble balancing it with like my friends and stuff." He's like, "Focus on yourself." And so he's like, "Okay, I'll do that." And then he does it, and everything goes wrong. And then he's like, "Hey, Dad, help me. I'm focusing on myself." And his dad's like, "No, you don't focus on yourself. You have to pay attention to your friends." No culpability.
Oh
No
my
sense
God.
that he is at all in the wrong.
Bad teacher.
No, he's a terrible dad. And like
Yeah.
he is the problem in all three High
He
School
is
Musical.
the problem.
He is the true villain of the High School Musical franchise. So in the Mexico one, when there's actually like a scene where he like sincerely apologizes, I was like, oh, this is new. I was not expecting that.
Interesting. And in the Argentine one, there wasn't anything for him to apologize for.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It was
because
just more
yeah,
like be like, son, just like do what you want to do and be happy. Like, don't worry about like
yeah,
scholarships and stuff like that.
yeah. Because in the Mexico one, I didn't mention this, but it's actually like the practice. His dad is like, you should focus just on sports in school and nothing else. And then is
Oh.
like shows up and is like after school when Troy is trying to go on his date, it is like, hey, we got practice, you got to go to practice.
Oh.
So
Okay, that
then
makes more sense.
so that he does actually have something to apologize. He might also apologize in the Brazilian version. Again, I don't speak Portuguese, and I think by that point in the movie I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna
Someone play
kind of
some.
let it wash over me.
Yeah.
But yeah, characters overall, I gave them a score of 4 out of 5. I think especially for the Sharpay and Ryan, and just we have such a big cast and everyone gets something to do, and the focus is so much wider.
I
Yeah.
give it a 3.
Why so low, John?
I don't know. I just thought that was fair. I
I
can't
gave
really
it,
judge them enough to be like, eh.
yeah, that's fair. I gave it a 4 as well, especially for the Ryan character and just the newness of the story to me. Like, it was just different than what I thought it was going to be going in as a High School Musical movie. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Speaking of High School Musical movies, onto the visuals. The Argentine version just plays things very, very safe.
Yeah, you were mentioning that earlier.
That it's like, yeah, it follows that visual aesthetic as like started by the original 2 movies.
For sure, yeah.
And I do think it makes sense. This is actually the first ever Disney movie that was produced in Latin America.
Whoa, go
So
Argentina.
these 3 are the first 3, so
Yeah.
that they ever like produced in Latin America with Latin American talent and companies helping with that. So I think it makes sense that the first one they're kind of playing it very safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first one they filmed it in like early 2008 or somewhere 2008. And then
Mm-hmm.
the Mexico one they filmed must have been pretty much immediately after. And I think maybe seeing the success of the Argentine production, they're like, oh, we can take things in a little bit different direction here. We can kind of go our own way and add a bit more personality here.
Yeah.
So it leads to a very different visual style. And the Mexico one, they do have like the classic quote unquote Mexico filter where a lot of movies feel the need to indicate they're in Mexico by putting an orange filter over
Yeah.
everything. Here, I honestly think here it's just because they're using the same locations. They're like, we need some way to visually distinguish ourselves from the Argentine.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Oh yeah, go ahead, John.
Oh, I, everybody's just wearing an obscene amount of makeup in that film. It was just like, that's a lot of makeup. It doesn't quite blend in, but it's there.
It was a different time, John. Didn't really know what we were doing to our faces.
Mm.
The fashions
The
are wild.
fashion, oh my gosh. And ironically, I would wear some of the outfits that I saw. Like Gabriella,
Yeah,
some of her clothes, yes, please.
I
I
think
will
the
not be
Argentine
bringing the
version.
fingerless gloves back though.
I think the Argentine version has the best fashions.
At least for the girls. The guys all dress the same, except for Ryan, the
Yes,
fastidious queen.
I think yeah. And then in terms of like choreography, I think they all have good choreography. They all run into this problem, which is that High School Musical has this iconic song choreographed around basketball.
Yes.
Rugby and football, you can't choreograph songs around them in that same
No.
way because you aren't
You
dribbling
could.
the ball in your hands. I think the rugby one suffers the most.
It really did suffer. I did not like that song.
Yeah. I was surprised that they even did rugby or even
I
had the song.
Like, okay, of all the things, Argentina, we play soccer, we play field hockey, we swim, we do polo, we do rugby. But like, did you see how many choices there are? They chose rugby? I just don't understand.
Honestly, just do basketball
Or just do basketball. Yeah.
because it's
It's
not
a
like,
sport.
yeah,
It's not
at
like
least
it's only Americans can play basketball.
yeah.
True.
Yeah, because I mean, our high school had basketball team.
Yeah.
That was not like, yeah. And I mean, they weren't as good as like a U.S. high school basketball team would be, but
But our star players were the tall Americans.
But those were on our teams, not in the other
Yeah.
schools that
No.
played against us.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
I mean, the culture down there, you don't. Everything is football.
Hmm.
Like that is
Yeah.
what you learn as a kid. So,
I mean, we all said we loved volleyball. It seemed.
oh yeah, in where we were for high school, volleyball was big.
Equality.
Yep.
So, but yeah, the visuals were good. Um I liked um the setting, like I said. It was just such a big throwback for me,
Yeah.
seeing like the style of the houses and stuff like that. So I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. Like it's very much grounded in that original style. So when you get to the Mexico one and they have the editing and the framing is so much more dynamic, and there's like certain framing choices. Like there's one scene where the band is playing in the background and the Ryan character is in the foreground and he's like having his reactions to what they're doing, looking away from them and reacting, and they're like out of focus in the background. The way it's framed is just,
Whoa.
it's like, oh wow, they're playing with like technique here and
Yeah.
being a little bit more experimental. And then there's just a lot of good visual gags and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, the Brazil one kind of strikes the difference between the two. Um, it's closer to the High School Musical style, especially in the way it uses color. But it is a little bit more expressive, and I think that one maybe has the best choreography. But I'm not super big into choreography, so
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it does have the worst fashions of the three. Um, and then yeah, that one though, I think it's extra points for actually featuring like iconic Brazilian locations rather than
Yeah.
just, yeah, it has more of a sense of the cultural identity. So yeah,
Good for
overall
them.
I gave, oh I should have specified this before. I'm giving my scores based on what I think the best of the three is. So since my favorite was the Mexico one, my scores are basically for the Mexican version.
Okay, that makes sense.
Rather than trying to average all three or anything fancy like that. I was just like, I like the Mexican version enough. I'll do my scores for that. So I give the visuals a 3.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 3, which is actually better than the original that I gave. So,
Okay.
My scores are based off of vibes and vibes alone, and I gave it a 4.
nice.
Gosh darn it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
It
it
was,
makes sense though. I mean, part of why I'm glad you're on for this episode is because you have that um experience living in Argentina and can
yeah.
bring that perspective here. Where for me, I'm like looking at the Argentina one and it's like it doesn't do anything for me, but I also didn't
Yeah.
grow up there,
Is
so
it
I'm
a
not
bit
as
of a reach
familiar.
for me? A little bit, but it's also like big nostalgia because it's been years
Yeah,
since I've been there. So I'm like, you know what? They could have done anything and I would have been like,
yeah.
amazing, talented, glorious. So, but
No,
yeah.
yeah. If they had like apartment buildings with the walls out front and like the windows and like stuff like where I grew up, I would have given it a higher
Yeah.
visual score. So
Yep.
well, yeah, performances. We have a lot of people, so we aren't going to go through every single person. I did
Okay.
want to take a quick second to talk about the way they did the casting, which is
Mm.
so fascinating to me that they like held this competition,
Yeah.
which they've things like this have been done before. I think the iconic example is Gone with the Wind,
Oh.
where the novel came out and was like massive, and what I believe it was Selznick was producing and was like, we need to get this in production now. And there's like this whole hoopla of like who is going to play the main lady in this movie. And
Okay.
so they had a good idea pretty early on of who it was. I believe only a few dozen actresses were actually tested for the role. But
Okay.
as like a publicity stunt, they did a 2-year long all across the country casting thing where just like anyone could come in and like try out for this role. Um
Dang.
and it
That's
was
crazy.
yeah. apparently it cost like $100,000, which back then is like
Mm-hmm.
massive. But it was just a way
Wow.
of like every everyone could like try out, and it was this community sense and like building this
Mm-hmm.
fan
Everybody
hype
gets to be
around it.
involved.
Yeah, and there was a whole lot of publicity for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became the highest grossing film of all time in the US or adjusted for inflation. It still is the highest grossing film of all time.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, there is a history behind this. I think the closest to this High School Musical competition show that I know of is Glee. They actually, for a later season, held a competition, and two fans were chosen and like given roles on the show. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think I ever got to that point in the show. I think I stopped watching before then, so I don't know a whole lot
Okay.
about that. But and that would have actually been after High School Musical did this, so maybe they got the idea from High School Musical.
Wouldn't put
But
it
yeah,
past them.
it's always like a question mark when you're getting fans to play roles in these movies. How good are they going to be?
Yeah. I thought they
And
were all, I mean, at least the ones that I saw, I thought they all did
yeah,
a really good job.
no, I think major kudos to everyone involved, like the actors and the directors who are working with people who don't necessarily have a whole lot of experience. Like all of the performances were pretty good, and a lot of them were very good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's rather than like getting too deep into the cast. I think it's interesting to talk about the overall, like the Argentina. It's wild to me how close the performances stick to the original High School Musical interpretations.
Yeah, yeah, they were very similar.
Like the mannerisms and the styles of speaking. I think Delphine Pena is the best example of this. Of like she is channeling Ashley Tisdale.
Oh yeah.
Just
Did they
really,
have like that pre-show like ritual in the other movies as they did in of doing going through the voice
yes, they did.
exercises?
Yeah,
Okay. That was such a great throwback to the original movie.
yeah, but yeah, it doesn't stand out in the other ones quite as much because the performance styles are very different.
Mm, okay.
Um, Whereas here they are very much trying to recapture the energy of the original High School Musical movies and doing a very, very good job at it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't come across as just imitation.
Yeah.
Um, and I would say that Walter Bruno is probably my favorite of the three Ryans. He just
Nice.
has an energy to him that I don't know. Main character energy parentheses complimentary.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely like he had a bigger role, like I said, he had a bigger role than I thought he was going to, and I was like genuinely surprised, but I really liked it.
Yeah. The Mexico version goes in the opposite direction.
As in,
Like everyone just rather than trying to recapture the performances of the High School Musical actors, they just kind of take these roles and make them their own.
mm,
Um, yeah, I think the best is Mar Contreras as the Sharpay character. She is Oscar worthy. Like her expressions, I had to snapshot. There's something like a scene where she is screaming, and I had to snapshot it, and I might make it the for our Twitter banner thing. I might
I
make
love
like a
it.
little icon for the duration of this High School Musical series because it's just like the way it's just so good. Yeah, John, do you know the moment I'm talking about? Where she's just yelling at Fed.
It didn't really stand out to me, so no.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
find it very difficult to just judge performances in foreign films because different countries and regions express emotion very differently, especially with the words. And so the way we do performance in English or American just sounds very different than if you're doing in Spanish because they're two very different dialects that one
Yeah.
is faster and so you can gather anger from faster much easier than you can gather other stuff. And so
Yeah, for sure.
like I noticed this a lot by watching the Kurosawa films, where it's like,
Yes.
I don't know if this is good acting or not, because I don't understand the cultural significance of some, the way they speak or how they cry. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
I assume it's good, but I don't know. So
That's
Mhm.
actually a thing that gets brought up sometimes. The example I can think of right now is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Oh, favorite
which
movie.
yeah, it's iconic and people have praised a lot of the performances. Um, but apparently, if you know, is that in Mandarin?
It's in Mandarin. Um, but it's super interesting because like Michelle
Yeah,
Yao, she doesn't speak Mandarin. So she had to learn
yeah.
it for the movie or something like that. Yeah.
Several of the actors don't speak Mandarin, and I believe
Yeah.
some of them are doing it phonetically. And apparently, if you speak Mandarin really well, like you can tell that they are struggling.
Interesting.
But if you don't speak Mandarin and you're watching it with the subtitles, you don't even realize that because you aren't paying attention, or like you don't have the context of the language
Yeah.
to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, her to be clear, Michelle Yeoh's like physical performance is impeccable.
Hmm.
So, and I don't know enough Mandarin to be like to judge her the rest of her performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you'll even see it in like whenever you watch the like a something produced, especially in Asia, where they have an American character
Oh my gosh.
and the performance style is like very different because the people who are making and watching the movie don't necessarily speak English or
Hmm.
even or English as a first language. Um,
So
so
it's
the
so
perform
interesting because you'll have someone who looks like they are a native English speaker and
yeah,
they're appearing in this foreign to us film, right? And the way that they are saying the words and the cadence and their mannerisms, it looks like someone who doesn't know the language that they're speaking
yeah,
because it's not an English person directing it. And it's so fascinating. And I
yeah.
bet we do the exact same thing with like in
Oh
English
yeah,
movies with foreign elements in it, and we just
yeah,
don't realize.
yeah. No, it's. I mean, yeah. There's a long history at Hollywood of like casting Japanese people to play Chinese characters. Like that must be as weird to them as like when a Korean film casts a German actor to play an American character and their
Yeah.
English is like we see it and we're like, oh, that does not sound like someone who grew up in the US, but when they're
Hmm.
watching it, they don't have that same context.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it's just it makes evaluating performances like I'll notice this when I'm watching international films of like I'm never like, oh, that performance was not quite good because I don't know when it's not quite good.
Hmm.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's a good point,
yeah for me, I speak enough Spanish to be like, okay, I understand. I think I can mostly evaluate what are really good performances.
hmm.
Versus like, yeah, I don't speak enough Portuguese to really talk about the performances in the Brazilian version because I was just like I was lost trying to follow the dialogue.
Oh,
So I wasn't even paying attention to the
yeah, I bet.
performances. Um, but yeah, for me, Mar Contreras is just so incredible in the Sharpay role. And then also Cristobal Orellana, who actually John, the I didn't realize this when I sent you the video, but the version on YouTube of High School Musical de Desafío Mexico is actually on his personal YouTube channel.
Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah, so like you could go to his channel and he has like his sizzle reel for getting hired for movies, and then it's like he also has just this full copy of High School Musical
I love
that he
it.
was in.
It's like
Um,
his portfolio.
yeah, no, it's great, and it's like
Yeah,
yeah, because I don't. These don't have like wide distribution. I don't think you can get the DVDs anymore.
I doubt
Like they
it.
aren't on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So like the only way you're going to be able to watch them is if someone uploads them onto YouTube and makes them available, which I really appreciate. I wish there was a higher quality version available, but beggars can't be choosers. So
Yeah.
a lot of media just kind of gets lost. So it's nice to see people putting in the effort to preserve these.
Yeah.
And especially, it adds something to it that it is one of the cast members that is actually like, hey, I'm actually proud of my work here.
Hmm.
And yeah, he is just so much fun in the Troy role, which could be very bland, but he just has so much fun with it.
Hmm.
And then yeah, Carmen Beato plays the teacher role. She's actually like a major actor from Mexico. The only thing I've seen that she is in besides this is Bottle Rockets, the debut feature of Wes Anderson.
Oh.
I don't remember enough of the movie to say what role she played, but I kind of think I know.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, she's just like the exasperated teacher, and she is so good in that role. Yeah, and the Brazil version, I don't really have anything to say about the performances. Again, I don't speak Portuguese, so
It's going to be your mantra for this whole
yes,
episode.
I don't speak
I do not
Portuguese.
speak Portuguese.
The Mexican version, I like the most. Those are my two takeaways from this episode. I do think that Olavo Cavaliero, I doubt that is how you pronounce it in Portuguese, but he looks like Edward from Twilight, just the way he's like styled. And it was a little bit distracting, but also kind of funny to imagine
But
Ed.
he didn't sparkle, did he?
No, he didn't.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I gave the performances. Oh, I should probably bump them up. Yeah, I think I need to give them a 4.5 out of 5.
Wow. High praise.
That's gonna mess up my rankings, but that'll be fine.
I gave it a 3.5.
I give it a 4.
Yeah. So yeah, last up we have the sound or score,
Yeah.
music, everything of that ilk. So I
Ooh.
sent you before we started recording. I made you all watch the opening numbers, the versions from the movies that you didn't see,
Hmm.
because it is so wildly different.
Yeah. And after watching the Mexican and Brazilian opening numbers, I feel cheated as to how boring the Argentine one was. It was just so slow and kind of more like an acoustic pop song than
Yeah.
than the reggaeton. Like
Yeah.
we could have had a party. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what are your opinions on reggaeton in general?
Me?
Both of you.
I enjoy it. It definitely is like there are other Latino music that I like more. But time and place and depending on the the theme of the music.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious because reggaeton's like club music. Not that it has to only be played in the club, but to use that as like the motif that backs up this high school production, it's interesting choice.
Yeah.
I think like a bachata or a merengue could have been a little bit more PG, but that's fine.
I mean, honestly, I think the Mexico version is targeted at a slightly older audience because it's also a little bit more risque.
Ooh,
Not like it's still
no.
PG, but like
It's
it's
Disney.
pushing the envelope a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like Disney was kind of like, oh, the Argentina one went well. We're just gonna let the Mexican people do what they want, and then the Mexican people were like, ooh, freedom.
I think it's just that by the time they finished filming the Argentine one and they had to redo it, they're like,
Yeah,
you know what? All bets are off.
just go for it. Go for
Just
broke.
go for it.
So, John, any thoughts on reggaeton?
I don't really know what reggaeton is. Even
Okay.
though, like, I hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the type of music I'd hear down in the South. And so I don't have a name for it. But I'm like, okay, yes, this music here, the reggaeton, yep, that sounds very much culturally correct. So
Hmm.
Yeah, I've had a journey with it. I didn't love it when people were blasting it at Friday night at 3 a.m.
You're right.
every
Yeah.
week.
Which is
Yeah.
understandable.
But then since moving away, it's like, oh, it makes me feel a little homesick. So I've started to
Yeah.
get into it a bit more. So when I like saw this opening number in the Mexican version, and they're like, I mean, it's in the Brazilian version as well. I was just like, oh, this is they're taking this in interesting cultural directions of like,
hmm
we're gonna make this distinctly Latin American high school musical versus the
Yeah.
Argentina version is like, what if we did High School Musical and it just happened to be in Argentina?
Yeah. Yeah. That's very much the vibe. And I think like with some of the songs on the Argentine one, like they were hit or miss. Like some of them I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is a bop. Like the closing song, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I was actually excited to hear it with like the lead up of the Kelsey character creating the song and teaching it to everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And it was. And then you have like Gabriella's solo song, and I was like, okay, skip.
Oh, we didn't talk about this. So one of the things that Sharpay does to sabotage the group is she tries and change the rules of the competition. So
Yes.
and remind me what she does in the Argentina version, because
I think she makes it so that you have to play an original song.
but
And it was like
how
2 days before.
yeah
I don't know how she changed it. I kind of missed that part, but then she
Yeah.
just like does because she's
I think
Sharpay.
I think she just kind of like states it in the Mexican version. There's a sign that says um original or cover. I'm
Mhm.
forgetting what that would be in Spanish, original or something else, but she like adds an N in front of the O, so it's original no cover.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's funny.
In the Brazilian version, she Mission Impossibles her way into the secretary's office and like changes the rules on the computer and prints it out.
That's it was more similar to that in the art. It wasn't Mission
Yeah.
Impossible at all. She saw like she grabbed like a stamp or something and
Yeah.
then typed it up, and I think she just had like an official
Oh yeah, she had
stamp.
the official stamp. Yeah, that's what
That's
it
what it
was.
was. But oh my gosh, Mission Impossible ling her way into an office would have been fun to watch.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, the music, I just wanted to bring that up. That
Yeah,
was the wild difference. Yeah,
crazy.
the final performance in the Argentina version is pretty solid. I would say it you definitely understand why they won that competition.
Yes.
The Mexican version, it's also pretty good. The problem is the Brazil one, where it is the worst song in the entire movie. It is worse than
No.
Sharpay's number before it.
Well, that's a bummer. It's a bit of a drab.
Yeah, we're leading up to this big song. We're finally gonna do it, and you're like, "Oh, this is bad."
Oh no.
We should mention in the Mexico one, Ryan doesn't just enter the theater; he drives a motorcycle through the theater to get to the stage.
Taking a card from his sister's deck.
What was the movie he was watching, John?
Ooh.
I was trying to figure it out
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like a 3D CG mouse walking down a hallway.
That, yeah. There's a lot of those mouses.
Yeah. But it's like, it's very, I was like, is it like Tale of Despero? But that's not a Disney movie.
So, like, was it a Disney movie or was it like a non-Disney
For
movie?
Yeah, for rights, I would think it would have to be a Disney movie, but it might not have been. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, I think the thing I will remember most from the Mexican version is, of course,
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Y'all can't see me, but I'm dancing over here.
oh yeah, the Mexican one also had like such a sweeping score. Like it really made those emotional moments work so much better. And then it punctuated the comedy sometimes in the way that's like, oh, that's a little bit sillier than I would maybe want for this, because it's all right. Like the joke, it's putting too fine a point on the joke, but yeah.
Do you remember when in the film that mouse scene was in?
It is before the competition, so it's relatively near the end. He's like in the massage chair, which I
Yeah.
don't think they have in the Argentina version. There's like a violent massage chair that's just like shaking people all around. So he's like
Oh my
sitting there trying
gosh.
to like eat pizza or something as he's watching this.
Somebody needs to fix that.
Oh, the dad in the Argentina version, the dad, Ryan and Sharpay's dad is like playing golf.
Yes.
In the Mexican version, he is playing VR golf. He has like
Oh my
little VR
gosh.
glasses on.
In 2008.
Yeah. So it's like bad VR golf.
Oh no.
It looks like
Amazing.
they look like those tanning machine glasses that you put
Yeah.
on.
No.
It's the same house. Like they use the
Yeah,
same set. It's just
of
they're doing
course.
it inside with
They're like, nope, we can't use the outside. Let's play golf inside.
yeah. It's great. We could figure out what the movie is later, John.
I'm wondering if it's like the Tooth Fairy Mouse film.
That's when you said rat, I
Ooh.
was wondering if it is what's his name?
I don't know.
Oh wait, I have to know this.
Talk to me about this because I don't think I've heard of this.
Well,
The Tooth
see,
Fairy rat?
Well,
yeah,
I've heard of that. I just am not aware of like a movie.
it is a
El Ratoncito Pérez.
see, yeah. That's not an American film. That was definitely something that was more in South America.
Okay.
So that's why I
I've
was
never heard of
thinking
it.
it was that film, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, why would they get the rights for a Disney film down in South
Well,
America?
I assume since it's Disney, that would be, but that would make sense. Let me look at.
It could
Okay,
be.
yeah, this is looking kind of like the same animation style, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Sherlock strikes again.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that answers my question. Interesting.
There we go.
So
So what did
very
y'all rate?
important question for the
Yes.
mouse.
Well, yeah, it showed up, and I'm like, because I'm always curious what people are watching in movies,
Mhm.
Right.
or even just like on planes. My favorite thing to do on airplanes, well, not favorite, but I'll look at all of the screens around me and try and guess what people are watching.
Yeah,
But,
it's a good
like,
pastime.
It looks like he's watching two completely different mouse movies with CGI, because the art style for two shots are completely different. One looks more realistic, one looks more cartoony. So I don't know what he's watching. I've never watched the Tooth Fairy Mouse one, so
This is the
I'm
hallway.
just guessing.
This is the hallway, I believe. Okay, well, I'll have to send this to you. I believe this is the same hallway at like a different angle. So I think we have figured it out. Or I guess
Good.
you have. I didn't
Like,
contribute much to it.
the film did come out around that same time, so
Okay, that would make sense.
oh yeah, that's the film.
Okay, we have solved the great mystery.
There we go. The question that everybody was wanting to know the answer to.
Yeah,
You guys
this is
did.
the question of our podcast, the fundamental
is.
question we have been asking since we
El
started.
Desafío.
Yeah.
The challenge. Figure out the rat movie.
Oh, does that mean we get to be cast in High School Musical El Desafío dos?
Yes.
Let's go.
Uh,
As long as I get to be Sharpay.
oh yeah. Oh,
That'd be so
my
much fun.
sister and I were trying to cast our friend group from high school as who we would be in
Oh
High School
my
Musical
word.
El Desafío. And yeah, you were Sharpay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Our friend who was on the basketball team and in the plays was obviously going to be Troy.
Oh, of course.
I don't know if we decided who John was.
I'll be Gabriella.
Yes. I see it. I watched that movie.
You as Auntie Juliet as Gabriella?
Oh yeah. Give your auntie a smoochie.
No. Never mind. I take it all back.
Well, on that note, I gave the music a 4 out of 5.
I give it a 3.5.
I also gave it a 3.5 because we were robbed in the Argentine one.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad. I was like, oh, I made Emily watch the Argentine version, and that's the like least interesting
No,
version.
I enjoyed the experience.
I'm glad. Yeah. Well, yeah. This leaves my final score as a surprising 20 out of 25, or at 80%, or
Wow.
that would be a 4 on our 5-star scale, which is, yeah, I was not expecting this to land this high, especially after watching the Brazil version, where I was like, I don't know what's going on. That I watched the Mexico version. It's like, oh, this is fun, and I would actually recommend people watch it if they are interested in High School Musical.
Yeah.
I gave it a 16, which is 64% or a 3.25 star rating.
Clearly, this is one of John's favorite movies that he's ever watched.
We'll have to
Sure.
see where this falls in rankings. Were you surprised by the quality, John?
Yeah, a little bit. It was slightly better than the original film in terms of just the way the production was and the camera. It was like, oh, interesting. There's more going on, but you know.
Yeah.
I gave it a 19 out of 25, which is a 76% or a 3.8 out of the 5-star rating. So it was a mid movie. Like, definitely did not exceed my expectations, but actually, in certain ways, it did. I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
But in other ways, I was like, yeah, okay, this was a Spanish movie made in 2008. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just fun to go back and see
yeah.
something that I missed at the time, but it's like, oh, this is actually has something going on.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, thank
Cool.
you again, Emily, for joining us and for bringing your
Absolutely. It was a
expertise
pleasure.
here. Yeah. Do you have anything going on online that people can follow, or is that
No, not
okay?
really. Um, yeah,
Any
just words of wisdom, keep living your best life.
That is a very good
And
plug.
my cat says hello to everybody.
Hi, cat. What's your cat's name?
Girasol,
Hira.
which
Hira.
is sunflower in Spanish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hola, Girasol.
Or adios, because we're
Or
ending
adios. Oh
today's
yeah, yeah. Because
episode.
we're
Yeah.
ending, I should do the outro. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We are Binging Barbie podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Twitter and Serialized, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review and go join our Patreon, where you can listen to next week's episode in addition to a whole bunch of other fun stuff. And we will be back next week to talk about another High School Musical spin-off, High School Musical China, College Dreams. And until then, remember,
And
toodles,
rugby.
toodles.
Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.